Hey everybody, wanted to do a quick update on the alleyway diorama that I'm working on. As you can see right now, I got the Chevelle wagon in there. I got the shack pretty much built. I got to do some doors. I am going to have a light in there, and I have an idea on how I'm going to do that. I normally have do one of them little micro LEDs, the surface mount. So I'll do one of those, and then in the 29 Roadster, you have those nice size headlights. I'll probably make a silicone mold of that, and then I will be able to replicate that and have it be the light housing. I'll drill a hole through it and put the wires through and have it hanging from there. I figured that would be a really easy way to get a bunch of those without having to do a bunch of work. As you can see, I did a lot of weathering on this part. Let me get the car out of here. So I got quite a bit of weathering on. Nothing is glued down and fixed except for the gravel. So I got gravel, and then you'll see here that is plaster. Kind of got it really wet and just kind of let it soak on in there, and it kind of represents a little bit of mud. I still have to put some washes on it. These three spots right here, right there, I made low, so I'm going to actually make them look like a mud puddle, because this is kind of going to be like a little rough side. There's a little bit of an alleyway. It's going to have tall grass and kind of overgrown and stuff like that. So I kind of wanted to make it look kind of rough. And the picture ain't going to show too well, but I have it raised right here in the center. So this whole area here is raised, just like all the gravel driveways I've had in the past and all that, where it actually always seems to push up in the center. And after I do my weathering on it, I will do some really short static grass. I think it's 3 mil, and I have some grass growing in there. I'll do some weed like looking foams and stuff like that. I will have static grass back here as well and around the shack, but the fence hasn't changed. I still haven't got it glued in, that way I can remove it. I did put some plaster here to represent the dirt. Give it just a rough paint. You really don't have to paint it very well, because I'm going to have a lot of grasses and bushes and everything like that there, so there won't be a lot of that shown. And back to the shack, as you can see, I got some weathering, I got some drips and stuff. I do not have it glued down because I have to get the light in there. But the inside looks like a nice old shack. Like I said, I have to do the doors, but I got some weathering on that. Let's see if I move the light a little bit, if I can get more detail of the weathering. Right now we're just now starting to get our thunderstorm. Been dying to get, and I figured I'd get this out of the way before it gets real bad. But there's some more weathering. The roof, I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. A lot of layers on there. It wasn't looking good till the last layer. I painted it that red rust color, and put a lot of different washes on there, different thicknesses of washes, different colorations to give it that. And then I did a silver metallic acrylic and brushed it on there. Some areas kind of look like antique bronze, and got some rust and all that. But when I first did the roof, I did a Pepsi can with the crimper, and that was about impossible to get those to stick together. So this one I just did the bottom of a model box, glued them all together with super glue, and then painted them, and then did the weathering on it, and it worked so much better. I had a lot more control, and it's a little thick for scale, but it's not bad. And I don't really have to worry about this cutting the hell out of my hand. The Pepsi can, you really gotta worry about those. Another thing I was working on is some bushes. I don't know if you guys have made these before, but this is just the Woodland Scenics. It's a base. I have wire in here and you bend the twigs. And then they have some foam. And then you use tacky glue, and then you kind of dip them in there. These can kind of test your patience. See how stuff's still falling off. I have to make some Mod Podge and drip on there and let dry. But I figured I'd probably have one like right in here. You won't see it on this side as much as you'll see it on the other side. I have probably another couple little ones that I have. So there's one. And then there's a little one, probably have a little one right in here or so. And this one is a lot stronger because I took Mod Podge and water, diluted it down really good, and then dripped it on there. But you gotta be really careful. You kind of gotta let the glue sit. So you gotta kind of do it in steps, let it dry, and then drip it on there. If you do it too wet, all this foam will just fall off. It won't stick no more. So you gotta have that real tacky glue to hold it together. And I just use that. I'm sure it's probably almost the same as the Woodland Scenics tacky glue. And then here's another one. This one I had really wet. It fell apart quite a few times. But I can glue more onto it later. But I'll probably have something up against this, fence like that growing. Oh, can't even see it. But I'll probably have it like way up and into it, like right on it. And I'm gonna have some tall tufts of grass and everything like that. So, but I figured I'd give you a nice little update before I got too far in. I do have, I think it's the mini bike and I think it's in the, yeah, it's an MBC mini bike or trail bike. It's in El Camino. I think it's in a couple other kits. I'm going to have that probably in the shed or shack, whatever you want to call it. I'll have a lot of rough grass on by the fence, different heights and that to give it a nice unmaintenanced look on the concrete slab. It is a little wavy, but that was kind of the point. I'm going to put a couple cuts in it, straight line cuts to look like cut concrete. But since it is a shack, they probably just did it with bags and they really didn't care. That was kind of the idea I was going with this. So that is where I'm at on that. I think once I weather this part, it's really going to turn out really well. Let me get a nice zoom in look on it. But you can see how the plaster, like this area here, is how the whole thing looked. Very coarse, not very many smalls in it. But then once I get the plaster and drizzle that in there, it sinks to the bottom and gives it, the nice little mud look. So, in this higher stuff, I'll probably end up putting some grass and stuff in it. So, there's going to be a lot more layers to it here shortly. I'm going to use realistic water to fill these up after coloring them. I think I might wait till I do the grass to do that. There's a close-up on that. And I think I'm going to do like these posters. I'm going to do a couple on the shack as well. Might put a big one on the side. Let me see. Get a good detail on that. But you can kind of see all the different colors that I actually put into it. I wasn't happy with it till the way it looks now with that silver, because I did the rust color base and you can see it really bad in these cracks, so it just looked awful. I took the silver and then brushed it up in there and kind of covered that all up. You can see a little bit of it here, which ain't bad, but when all the seams were that bright red, it just looked awful. So I won't glue that in until probably the very end, or at least close to it, until I got the wiring done and the doors on. But I didn't want that to look like a garage. So I can just have a car kind of parked up next to it. If I knew where the guy was that I had that looks under the hood. Have a little shade tree mechanic guy. Pop that hood and have him in here and have a cool little scene. Have him out back working on it. And be able to take some pictures of it. So, let me know what you guys think. If you got any ideas of dioramas that you've seen before that I haven't got on here, let me know. Like I said, these dioramas, they're never done. They're always growing. And I love ideas. So, until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.